In this video, I want to talk to you about our balance and how we can train our balance effectively. Now, when we think about our balance system, it's a complex system that processes information from our eyes, from our inner ear, and from our body sense of touch and position to help keep us on our feet. Now, as we age, our balance system can become impacted for a multitude of reasons, but we may be able to mitigate some of that impact if we build up our balance and our strength reserves. So, it's never too early and it's never too late to get started. Challenging your balance every day is the key. Taking a few minutes, maybe breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or in the morning or in the afternoon, you figure out when works best for you, but making sure you're making it a daily habit. Now, when we talk about balance, you may just be thinking, how long can I stand on one leg for? And while that can be an important form of static balance, or maintaining balance in one static, stable, fixed position, we don't want to forget about our dynamic balance, which is the balance we need while we're moving, walking, moving around. All right, so here's some tips to help you progress your balance activities. Of course, be sure that you're doing these activities and challenging yourself in a safe space, a safe environment. So maybe that means you're doing this by the counter or in front of the couch or in the corner of the wall. All right, so thinking about our balance, we can use our balance assessment tools, so the 4-stage balance test, and for our dynamic balance, the 4-square step test, to kind of give us a baseline of where we're at. All right, so I want you to think about if either of those tests or some of those positions were challenging for you. Maybe standing on one leg is a challenge for you, or standing with one foot in front of the other was quite challenging and you couldn't maintain that for 10 seconds, then you have an idea of where you can start. But it's not just doing those simple activities and holding that, but trying to layer some challenge into that. So I'm going to give you a few ideas. So certainly the first one is make sure you're not holding on, or at least lessening how much support you're using over time. You can also think about taking your socks and shoes off. So really maintain some challenge to your feet and making sure your feet are able to experience that surface that you're standing on or walking on. Now, also, you can think about changing the surface. So you may be standing on a firm surface in your kitchen like tile or hardwood floor, but if you transition and try to stand on bare feet with carpet or outside on grass, or you can use something like I have here, or a foam surface, a cushion, a pillow. That can be an extra challenge for your balance, whether you're standing still or moving on that uneven surface. Now think about also closing your eyes or limiting the light, and that will help challenge your balance in a different way, where you're taking away some of your vision. Also, you can think about moving your head back and forth, or your eyes, moving them in different directions as you're standing in that position. If you simply try standing on one leg and turning your head side to side, it really ups the ante and ups the challenge. And of course, you can do that while walking, simply walking straight forward, but turning your head side to side. That's gonna challenge some of our inner ear in the balance system. All right, now also you can add some resistance training. So I have lots of different resources to get you moving in terms of resistance training, but if you think about, let's say, standing on one leg and adding some resistance training where I'm gonna do some chest openers or some pull downs. There's all sorts of things I can do, but adding another element of challenge to that same stance is going to be really beneficial. Now, additionally, if you're walking and you want to challenge your dynamic balance, you can start walking with some weights, or you can hold one weight in one hand as you're walking and moving around as well. And you can really up the ante there. Now, also, you can add something that we call dual tasking. Now, that's simply doing two things at once. And I know it can get more challenging as we age, but it's also been shown that if we can maintain that ability and challenge ourselves in doing two things at once, then it can really help challenge and maintain our balance. So you can do things like trying to stand on one leg, turning your head side to side, and also reciting the alphabet backwards, or doing some times tables, or something challenging like counting backwards by threes. So there's different ways that we can challenge our physical and our mental abilities while trying to do some of these balance exercises. And it really will help to challenge effectively. Now, additionally, if you want to challenge your dynamic balance, so your balance when you're moving, there's other things you can do as well. You can think about moving around or stepping over obstacles, for instance, placing things on the floor and stepping over them or around, or picking things up as you're moving. You can also think about changing directions. So you may be walking forwards, try walking backwards, try turning quickly to each side as you're going through some of these things. Now, most of these ideas I'm giving you, you really can incorporate them into your everyday. So that's my challenge for you, is to see, can you start to just do a little bit more in terms of challenge your balance every day. Now, the last thing I want to comment on is to make sure you're challenging yourself enough. How do you know? Well, the research has shown that moderate to high intensity balance exercises make the most difference. So if you just keep standing on one leg or in this position with one foot in front of the other and you never do anything else, that's not going to improve your balance over time. You need to keep challenging yourself. So you can think of it on a scale from 1 to 5. If you were to rate your effort of challenge when you're doing a balance exercise, you should be rating it closer to that 4 to 5 and not on the lower end. So 1 being no effort at all, super easy, and 5 being max effort to maintain this position or to maintain my balance. So you really want to be working in that 4+ range out of 5. You can also think about it like this: how to know if it's intense enough before you start that balance exercise. If you notice yourself pausing or hesitating, or you need help from someone or something to get into that starting position, or you may need more than one try to get into that starting position, that's a good indicator that that might be a challenging enough exercise for you. And during the exercise, perhaps it is standing on one leg. If you find your breathing changes, like you're holding your breath to maintain the position, or you're breathing a little bit quicker, then that's also a good indicator. It might be challenging enough for you. If you notice that you're needing to take more than one step to keep your balance during the exercise, also a great indicator. Or perhaps you're moving your arms, or you have to grab or hold on to something, or you feel yourself holding part of your body quite stiff or rigid to keep your balance. Perhaps you just feel unsteady during the exercise, or you might need someone to help regain your balance. So those are some indicators to help you know if it's intense enough. Like anything, we need to push ourselves and challenge ourselves if we want to make gains and improvements. All right, I hope that helps, and happy balance exercises.